enclosure?
Food is the some little mantis grasshopper for
Okay,
the for
so
the
this,
lizard to eat.
yeah, so this lizard's diet, or what it eats, this lizard's diet would mainly be what? A cricket is a type of what?
Insects.
It's an insect. Yep. So the lizard is eating its natural food source, which would be an insect. It probably could not find crickets. It probably could not find crickets inside of the desert, but it definitely could find other insects. So that's why we provide them insects in these fake environments to make sure they get the nutrients they need. But remember, it's not the same nutrients as the stuff they would eat in the wild. So maybe there will be some changes between the lizard inside of this setup or inside of this environment compared to real life. And then the last thing is, Tony, could you read letter D for us?
D. The lizard needs a source of water.
The lizard needs a source of water. Do you think this lizard needs a lot of water or just a little bit of water, Tony? What do you think?
I think it needs a lot of water. A little bit of water.
A little bit of water. Why do you think it only needs a little bit? Because it's used to living where? What do you think, Tony?
The desert.
The desert.
The
and does the
desert.
desert have a lot of water in it? Tony, does the desert have a lot of water in it?
He ran away.
Oh, okay. So the answer, guys, is of course what? Anyone can answer.
No.
Does the desert have a lot of water?
No.
No. So when designing the habitat, do you think we need to add a lot of water to the habitat? No. We just need to make sure there's a lot of heat. The heat is the most important thing. The heat, and we only need a little bit of water. We only need a little bit of water.
It's also important.
Let's say I chose a different lizard. Let's say I found a lizard that lived in the rainforest. Let's say I found a lizard that lived in the rainforest. Would this bowl of water be enough water for that lizard? What do you think?
No.
If I found one from the rainforest?
That a little bit water will not be enough for a lizard to live in the rainforest.
Exactly. If I got a different pet lizard from the rainforest, I would have to make its tank or its habitat different. You would have to build it a little bit different. You want to make sure that you build your tank to the animal. Okay, very wet. So let's watch a video of an example, okay? Let's watch a video of an example. So before we start, I'm going to talk about your homework so you guys know what your homework is. So you guys can think about it when we are looking at the video. So your homework is to choose any animal of your choice, but make sure you could fit it inside of a tank. So nothing too big. Choose an animal that's a little bit smaller, like a fish, a lizard, a frog, a turtle, something that is smaller, okay? It can be anything that you want as long as the animal is a little bit smaller and you think you can fit it inside of a tank.
Where we draw. We have a dimension.
No. This is just on a piece of paper, guys. You can draw just on a piece of paper. Draw the tank. Draw the tank and label all the living and non-living things in your tank. So I want you guys to label the living and non-living things in your tank. All of the living and non-living things in your tank is the animal's what? All the living and non-living things surrounding and interacting with an animal is its what? What's the vocab word for number 2? All the living and non-living things inside of your tank are the animals what? Anyone? What's the vocab word of all the living and non-living things that interact with an organism? An environment. Yep. So number 2, you're going to label the environment. Try to add the things that it would find in its actual environment. Okay. If you choose something from the rainforest, make sure to add everything you would find in the rainforest. Okay. If you choose an animal from the desert, make sure to add things you would find in the desert. Yes, Tony.
Choose a horse. Can I choose a horse?
No, it won't fit in a tank.
Pretend you're making this for. So guys, the way for an animal, try to choose an animal that you would have as a pet. Okay, that's a good way to do this. Try to choose an animal that you could fit inside of your room. Okay, inside of your bedroom. Write how your tank will meet the needs of the animal. I want you guys to write down how you think your tank can meet the needs of your animal. Okay, what does your animal need that you put inside of the tank?
Maybe you should write that research and write.
Yeah, you have to do some research for this. You have to do some research for sure. Let's watch this video. This guy is a professional at making tanks. Okay, so let's see how he designs this tank for this snake.
Yo, what's up, Serpa Squad? Tanner here, and in this one, I'll show you how I made a live planted, bioactive vivarium for Houdini, my 14-year-old blotched king snake.
Okay, so this is a 14-year-old blotched king snake that we're going to make a terrarium for.
That includes how I made the background, water bowl, and many other components. I'll talk about how I built the plywood tank in a different video, but without any further delay, let's get to work. The first thing to address is the background. I use 1.5-inch thick polystyrene insulation foam. At $15 for a 4x8 foot piece, it's a very inexpensive option for a build of this size. I measured the interior of the tank and transferred those measurements to it in the tank.
Okay, so he's starting off by making the background for the tank to make it look like rock.
I also cut a section out of the front of his side pieces to account for
We're gonna have to.
So I was able to apply the third layer shortly.
So he's making it look like natural rock.
We want to watch it.
I'll send you guys the link. I'm gonna send you guys the link. This one's 16 minutes long. We don't have time to watch
after. This time, I'm using an even lighter gray. It's essentially the base Drylock with a few drops of tint. The side panels. Again, I applied the silicone and pressed them in place.
So you guys
can also get a look at the side ventilation I mentioned earlier. This could work as is, but the corners aren't seamless. To address it, I'll use expanding foam. I applied it along the entire seam. Prior to setting up the tank, I thoroughly rinsed off the background. This will get rid of anything loose or excess that may have built up in the process. Live planted snake enclosures come with a few challenges. In my case, Houdini is very active and likes to burrow at times.
Okay, so what is he getting ready for his snake? What is he getting ready for his snake? These are what? What's he getting? Plants.
Challenges.
Would we find plants in the snake's environment? Do you guys think we would find plants in the snake's environment?
Of
you guys
course.
think? Yes, of course.
Once I got them in place, if he really tries. I don't think it will be much of an
Okay, what do you guys think he's making
made
here?
Previously without having to dig them all over again. Anyway, I had issues mixing it all up in the bucket.
What do you guys think he's making now? The what? Anyone can answer.
The ground.
The ground, the soil.
So I moved it over to the tank to complete the process. To that, there are components in the baskets that retain water. I lightly packed it down to help keep his
You guys can see he's adding everything to the tank to help the animal survive.
burrows as I described earlier, because I think it worked really well for him in that spot. It also will help give him a sense of familiarity. I worked in the first plant basket. I put it near the cork bark to help soften the edge. I wanted
Okay, why do you guys think he added this hollow trunk? For the snake to do what? What do you think the snake wants to do with the hollow trunk? Anyone can answer. To sleep, to hide.
To look
Yep.
like a tree fell on top of plants and now they're growing around it.
What is this
I like
for,
how
you
it
guys
turned
think?
out other than the cloudiness in the bottom. I
What do you guys think?
applied a little too
This is
The
for the
water for it.
water. Yep, this is for the
much
water.
epoxy on the annoying, but it's one of those trade-offs I have to make for a better aesthetic. Admittedly, it also gives me an excuse to socialize with Dean. He's extremely inquisitive and always wants to know what I'm doing when I'm in or near his home. After it was in place, I worked in the remaining elements.
So we're adding some other things that we would find inside of its environment.
With the leaf litter.
We have some
These
leaf
are leaves
litter.
that I gathered. Given the nature of this setup, I know it will be nearly impossible to keep moss alive. It just won't be humid enough. I really want that look though, so I decided to incorporate some dried mosses. I put them throughout the floor of the enclosure and in crevices on the background.
So he's adding everything it needs to survive.
We're
Okay,
pretty much done here. I'll briefly go over the equipment and then we'll get it stocked. First is a 100 watt ceramic heat emitter. I have this hooked up to a
remember, because we have a reptile, we're going to need some heat. We're going to need a heat lamp for the sun.
thermostat to regulate the temperature. The
Okay, guys, we're going to have to skip to
I have
the
a
end
variety here and will list them on screen. I think most of them will do quite well. These will clean up any waste I miss while spot cleaning. Just because I'm adding a cleanup crew, that doesn't mean it's time to get lazy. Cleaning up after Dean is still a very important task given the amount of waste. At least we'll add.
Okay, guys, does this look like an environment that the snake can live in? Does this look like an environment the snake can live in?
Of
A habitat?
course.
Of course. This looks beautiful. There's leaves, there's soil, water, there's a place for the snake to hide. This looks like a beautiful place. If I was a snake, I would definitely want to live here. And you guys can see the finished product now.
Bioactive king snake enclosure. I had to go through several iterations of this to get something I think will work long term. The most troublesome elements being the plants. As I said, if I had time to wait, this would be less of an issue. Even still, he'd probably end up.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get the YouTube link for you guys if you guys want to watch this video on your own and see how he made it. He also makes tons of different things for different animals. He's really good. I really think you guys should watch. Okay, everyone, let's get started today.
Always forget to record, and
I always forget.
you're
Mr.
recording late, really late after class started. But now
I know.
it's starting yet.
Okay, so let's get started. So we're gonna look at your homework. We're gonna look at your homework. Your homework was to design a tank, okay, by using by knowing the animals, by knowing the animal's environment. And remember, a tank for an animal is supposed to mimic that animal's environment. Okay, so let's see how good you guys did. Let's check. So let me share my screen.
Check my homework.
Okay. So here we go. Let's check a few people's homeworks. Let me just click on a few. Let's start off with, let's see who's here real quick.
Me.
Tony. Tony.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, we'll start with Tony. We'll start with
I'm
Tony.
up there.
I see. Let's see what the images are here. Hopefully they load.
Just click. Just click
You
in.
need to lay.
You were offline.
I am offline. I hope I'm not
There is a
offline.
model. There is a model.
Okay, here you go. So Tony, what animal did you choose?
A frog.
A
Wait, it's a
frog.
frog.
Okay, and what did you put in?
Wait, it's a frog.
What did you put into the tank for your
A
frog,
small
Tony?
pond.
A small pond. Okay.
Small pond. Bushes. High place. and some soil and some droplets with leaves and a tree and a small tree.
How are you gonna fit a small tree inside of a tank?
Yes, I know. It was a germination plan.
Oh, it's a tree that's just germinated. I see. So it's really, really small. It's really, really small. Very cool. And what would you
My model. There's my model. There's my model.
what type of food would your frog need to eat? What type of food would your frog need to eat?
Some like some seaweed or something in the pond.
Oh, something in the pond. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, Tony.
And that's my model.
This is your model.
Can you model? Click on. There's the model. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna see if it loads.
Load internet.
Here we go. Oh, I like your model. I like your model. At least you have a plan, a design. Really cool job. Okay, let me call on someone random here now. Let's do John. Okay, John, what animal did you choose?
I choose a ghost shrimp and a blue lobster.
That's a good choice. Okay. And what do you have for your can you read what you wrote? What did you put inside of your tank?
We need aquarium, aqua soil, lava stone,
Dechlorinated?
lava stone,
Mhm. Dechlorinated.
water, dechlorinated water,
Mhm.
lava.
These are some hard words. These are some hard words. Okay.
Very hard. And hiding place.
Do you watch this on the YouTube channel? Do you watch this on the YouTube channel? Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. Okay, and you have a hiding cave, a filter, a Chihiro's bio ball. Interesting. A cooling fan, a ghost shrimp, wood, and the blue lobster. Wow, it's beautiful. I love this tank. I love this tank. How did it look in the video? Did the tank look really cool?
Yes.
Mr. Connor, what the ghost shrimp?
I don't know.
A shrimp that lives deep in the
Well, thank you for sharing, John. I'm glad that you enjoyed the YouTube video and decided to make your tank based off of the YouTube video. He makes some really beautiful tanks for his animals. So I'm glad that you chose to do that. Okay, Perry. Let's have Perry share. Perry, let me find your tank here.
This is me.
Oh, I see. So we have your experiment here. We have your experiment here. Do you have a tank, Perry, or just your experiment?
Next.
What?
On the left. On the left.
On the left, on
His
the
tank on
left.
the left. His tank is on the left
Oh.
of his experiment.
Thank you. I'm blind. Okay, Perry, tell us about your tank.
My tanks. I chose a fish.
Okay. And what does the
And
fish
my
need in its
tank have
environment?
Water, plants, sand, and rock, and food for fish.
Yeah, this looks really good. What type of fish did you choose? Do you know the type of fish you want, or is it just any type of fish?
I don't know the name. I choose the name that name is yellow fish.
It's a yellow fish. Okay. Yeah, and they definitely need some water. They definitely need some water. Yeah, this looks really good. Yeah. The only thing I would recommend is maybe adding a snail or two just to clean the tank, because sometimes fish tanks can get kind of dirty. And there's some animals that you can put inside of them to help clean them. Yeah, but Perry, I really like your tank. I like your drawing. And a fish is definitely an easy pet to keep inside of a tank. So I'm glad that you chose an animal that goes inside of a tank. Okay, let's have Thomas. Thomas, what animal did you choose?
Salamander.
A salamander. Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, what did you put in the tank for the salamander?
I put in the water sprayer because the environment of the Mobile salamander is the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it pellets, plants, a home. I have a pool if it's like want to drink water and rocks.
Wow, it's beautiful. I love this tank. I love this tank. How did it look in the video? Did the tank look really cool?
Yes.
Mr. Connor, what the ghost shrimp?
I don't know.
Name of a shrimp that lives deep in the
Well, thank you for sharing, John. I'm glad that you enjoyed the YouTube video and decided to make your tank based off of the YouTube video. He makes some really beautiful tanks for his animals. So I'm glad that you chose to do that. Okay, Perry. Let's have Perry share. Perry, let me find your tank here.
This is me.
Oh, I see.
Quickly.
So we have your experiment here. Do you have a tank, Perry, or just your experiment?
Next.
What?
On the left.
On the left,
His tank on the left. His tank is on the left
Oh.
of his experiment.
Thank you. I'm blind. Okay, Perry, tell us about your tank.
My tanks. I chose a fish,
Okay. And what does the
And
fish
my
need in its
tank have
environment?
water, plants, sand, and rock, and food for fish.
Yeah, this looks really good. What type of fish did you choose? Do you know the type of fish you want, or is it just any type of fish?
I don't know the name. I choose the one that name is yellow fish.
It's a yellowfish. Okay. Yeah, and they definitely need some water. Yeah, this looks really good. Yeah. The only thing I would recommend is maybe adding a snail or two just to clean the tank, because sometimes fish tanks can get kind of dirty. And there's some animals that you can put inside of them to help clean them. Yeah, but Perry, I really like your tank. I like your drawing. And a fish is definitely an easy pet to keep inside of a tank. So I'm glad that you chose an animal that goes inside of a tank. Okay, let's have Thomas. Thomas, what animal did you choose?
Salamander.
A salamander. Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, what did you put in the tank for the salamander?
I put in the water sprayer because the environment of the Mobile salamander is the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it pellets, plants, a home. I have a pool if it's like want to drink water and rocks.
Yeah, might want to go swimming too. Sometimes salamanders like to go into the water to keep their skin nice and wet. Yeah, very cool. I'm glad that you gave it a water.
Reproduction. And for reproduction.
And for reproduction. Yeah, I'm glad that you gave it a water sprayer. And you're going to keep the whole tank really wet. I think if you keep the tank nice and wet, your salamander would be very, very happy. I think it would be very fun. I think it would be fun to keep a salamander inside of a tank. Salamanders are very hard to keep inside of a tank just because, remember, salamanders are one of those animals that breathe through their skin. They're able to breathe through their skin. So they're very sensitive to anything that would be dangerous, like a poison or a toxin. So salamanders are actually a very hard pet to keep, but if you're very careful, you can definitely raise a salamander inside of a tank. But yeah, I like your animal choice, Thomas. Salamanders are awesome because they don't get very big. Salamanders don't get very big. Okay, let's look. Does anyone else want to share? Raise your hand if you would like to share. Raise your hand if you would like to share. Who would like to share? Raise your hand. Anyone else? Okay, then I guess we'll move on. You don't have to share if you don't want to. I'll just look through let's just look through some of these fish tanks. We have Hebe's here. Very beautiful Hebe. I love your snake. I love your branches that the snake can climb up. That's really cool. We have Amy's.
I have some earthworms, snail, beetles, caterpillar, flowers, grasses, fruit, berries, mushroom, and flowers, and grubs too, because it is what the turtle eat. I make plants, so I make moss to let it look like more in the turtle environment, and the plant to create oxygen. Mushroom is what turtles eat too. And I want to add is the water.
Very cool. So you have tons of living things and non-living things in here. What are some non-living things in your tank?
Non-living things is the light and the light temperatures, branches, and the living thing is the earthworm, the snail, the beetles, the caterpillar, the flowers, the grasses, the fruit, the berries, the mushroom, the flowers, the grub, the turtles, the plant, the grass, the flower, plant, moss, the tree, moss, and berries.
Wow. Yeah, this is really cool. I think you should really start to maybe look at making a terrarium, and you can add some of this stuff into your terrarium. I like this. There's so many living things. There's so many non-living things.
I want to create for turtle a pool so it can swim.
Yeah, this sounds like
So
a really nice.
Create a pool like it is standing in a pool.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I have created like this.
Yeah, Leo,
And
what I would
water is
recommend.
the ground face.
Yeah, you can make half of your tank on land, and then you can make the other half in water for your turtle, because turtles love to swim around in the water. You could even have plants that grow underwater.
But now I don't have an eraser, and I don't want to erase.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm just saying as a suggestion.
I don't want to erase it because. Yes.
Oh no, Leo, you don't have to
Can
erase.
you check my?
Leo, I'm just saying. I'm just suggesting stuff. I'm just suggesting stuff. Let's look at.
Yeah, I did it erase.
Who else would like to share? Raise your hand if you would like to share.
Mr.
Kathy would like to share, so let me click on Kathy. Okay, let's look at Kathy's.
It's a terrarium because my tank has two places. The first one is on the bottom and the second one is on the top.
Whoa. Okay, tell me about your two
In
places.
the middle.
Tell me about your terrarium, Kathy. Or your tank. Tell me about your tank, Kathy.
Didn't see her tank anyway. Mr. Corner.
Yes?
I cannot see anything.
You guys can't see it?
I cannot see it. I can see her. I can't see
Some
her.
of my fish is one fish named Ruby and one fish named Emerald. Why? I don't know why I named them like that.
And I see you have some snakes up top. You have some snakes. You have a lot of animals in here. How many animals are in this tank?
There are there's like the first one. It just have some fish. More than one tank.
Okay, I count 29 animals in this tank. In the okay, so you have a fish.
No, it is just 29 animals, but it is just like three kind, like
Four
two
kinds
kinds of animals, 4 or 5, like 6 kinds of animals or 7.
It
I
is
see.
2 kinds
There
of
are
Okay, guys, let Kathy
See,
explain.
animals.
Okay, let Kathy explain.
There are just 2
I see.
animals.
seal.
Okay, let Kathy explain. Okay, Kathy. So how many tanks are there here? Are there 2 tanks?
There are 2 tanks.
Okay, and I see one has a lot of fish in it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And there's penguins. Are
I
these
just-
penguins?
It is just toys.
Oh, just toys.
And she have it.
Very cool. Is there anything else you want to
Mr.
share?
Connors.
Is there anything you want to share about your tank, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, tell me. About, yeah.
Because my snake piano want to look at the TV, so I create a TV.
Okay.
Mr. Connor.
Very cool. Oh, I see the TV. I see the TV. Yes. What's your question?
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
do you see the seal?
The seal. Is it down here?
No.
Where-
The
No?
seal is sleeping.
Oh, it's
The
sleeping.
seal is sleeping on the
Here.
ice. It
This is really
sleeping
cool.
on the ice.
This is a very
cute
complicated
seal.
picture. I like it. There's a lot going on. Yeah, this is really cool. Thank you for sharing your picture, Kathy.
One of the fish name, I take the name from a football player.
Okay, I really like dragons. Let's look at dragons. Dragon, which animal did you choose? Dragon, which animal did you choose, Dragon? This is a beautiful drawing. Oh,
Not
is-
Snake. But
A s-
my internet is not.
your internet's not that good. It's okay. It's okay, Dragon. It's okay. I can see that you added lights for your snake. You added a thermometer to tell the temperature. Okay. 72 degrees Celsius. That's going to get kind of hot. I'm a king snake.
But
gave it-
he get the idea from the video.
Yeah, I can see you got the video. You got the idea from the video. This is a great idea and a beautiful drawing. Thank you for sharing, Dragon. I'm really happy that you did your homework and it looks really good. Dragon, it looks really good. And
Mr. Connor.
yes, let's look at tigers.
Mr. Connor.
Yes.
At first I draw the hamster and then it's too ugly, so I draw another one.
Okay, Tiger, tell us about your
No.
Tiger. Tell us your animal. Tiger, tell us about your animal.
I draw a king snake.
Very cool. And what's inside of your tank? What's inside of your tank?
I have a big long a water where the snake can drink water, and I take the foam, the size and the top. I put the plants and leaves and then dry moss to make it look better.
Yeah.
And I have a window for the sunlight to go in.
I think he copied the
I
idea.
see. I see. No, I like it, Tiger. I like your drawing. This is a really good drawing. I can see that you got inspiration from the video. You got inspiration from the video, which that's okay, guys. Remember, that video is a great terrarium
Mr. Connor.
or a tank
More
to
like
copy.
he is copying.
It's okay, guys. I like it. I
Mr.
like the
Connor.
drawing. Yes.
I think you can check Casper because he's drawing.
Okay. Well, this is the last one. We'll do the last one. This is Casper. This is the last one. We got to do something today in class. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, Casper, tell us what's inside of your tank.
My tank has food, light, water, coral, fish, seaweed, and pebble.
Oh, so is this a saltwater tank? Is this a saltwater tank?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Mr. Connor had a saltwater tank for a little bit. And coral is one of the best, it's one of the coolest things to grow inside of a tank. What type of fish did you put inside of your tank? Do you know what type of fish these are?
No.
Okay.
I just put it in.
Very cool. I really like your tank. I think saltwater tanks are really cool. I can show you guys one. We can look up, let's just look up cool small home salt water tank with amazing coral. Okay. You guys can see, I used to have one of these at home. Mine did not look this good, but people will have these tanks in their home. People will have their tanks in their home where they grow really nice coral, and they actually make like a coral reef inside of their home, but they're very hard to do. They're very hard to do. And they take a long time to figure out how to make them look as real as possible.
Do my grandpa have this tank and he made like in the picture.
You guys can see
Last
this.
night I watched a video. Some people lost 6 fish in I don't know how many days. I think it.
Yeah. You can see these saltwater tanks are really cool. These saltwater tanks are really cool. Mr. Connor had a small one.
Can you?
And you guys can see, let's see if this picture loads. Here you guys go. Yep, there's so many different types of coral. And these corals take a long time to grow. These corals take a very long time to grow. Okay.
I can see a fish.
Yeah. For
I
Mr.
can see
anymore.
If you said that this take a long time to grow, it remember me about when I read the Doraemon book. There's a kind of coral in the
In the what?
in the like I don't know how to say it, but it is bigger than pond.
Oh, it's bigger than a pond?
And then, yeah, and like bigger in a pond, and it is a lake a can lake, and it has a kind of coral that takes billions of years to grow this big.
Yeah, corals can take, they grow so slow. Some corals can grow so slow. It's one of the, you'd have to raise your tank for 10, 15 years before it looks like an actual reef, at least. It's kind of like growing a bonsai. They grow very slow. Okay, guys, let's do a little bit of a review. We don't have that much time left, but we're going to do a little bit of a review, and then we're going to take a quizzes. We're we're actually at the end of your lesson. We're at the end of your lesson. Tomorrow we will be going over your lesson check and lesson roundup. The lesson check and lesson roundup, that is your homework, is to finish the lesson check and the lesson roundup. And tomorrow we'll go over the lesson check, lesson roundup, and then we will do a bamboozle. We'll have a fun bamboozle tomorrow. So tomorrow should be a pretty fun class. But today we're just going to do a quick review and then do a quizzes. Let's read about the environment. We've read about this multiple times, but remember, this is one of the most important vocab words of this unit is the word environment. Okay. And I don't know why. Let's have Tom. Tom, can you read about the environment for us? Tom.
Factors in the environment may affect the plant organism. If a plant needs more sun, it planted in.
Mr. Connor, what happened?
It is. He is like
Are you there, Mr. Connor?
You are mute. You are mute.
You are mute.
I am back. Okay.
Okay.
So Tom was reading about the environment. So what's the definition for the environment? What's the definition for the environment? Daisy, what's the definition? What is the definition of environment?
The definition